Despite its size, this big Montana only weighs 13,440 pounds. Now, I say the word only, like that's not a lot. I get that that's a ton of weight. But this is long. It has 4 slides. I can't believe it doesn't weigh more than that. This is basically, you're gonna hear me say this 1,000 times, a 3120 Montana on steroids. If you really plan on doing some destination full-time snowbird and something like that, you want to take a look at the #1 most popular full-time destination trailer in the history of RVing. Well, I think this is one that's gonna suit you just fine right here. And when this big beauty rolled in, we jokingly called it the SS Montana because this thing's the size of a giant sea ship. But the thing is, it's surprisingly travel accessible. Like when you walk right in the front door here, you can see you can obviously get to that refrigerator. The giant like closet pantry beside us is accessible. You're not going to get to a lot of the kitchen cabinetry space, but if you need to, you can squeeze through here and you can sit down and get a bite to eat. One of the other things that I noticed, which is not usually the case, when you get a driver's side staircase, typically they are not very travel functional. But leave it to Montana. They nailed it once again. If you walk around this corner, you see that you can very easily get up here to the upper deck. You can get to the bathroom, lickety split, no sweat. And you can do a sideways, what I call travel trailer 2-step. You can sneak through here and you could climb into bed for a little like overnight travel stop. So against all odds, I'd call this one a pretty travel friendly destination luxury fifth wheel. So instead of the SS Montana, we're gonna call it the luxury liner Montana. And once again, the idea that this is a 3120 RL Montana just on steroids, it just really is, I think, the best way to describe this RV right here. Because the 3120, I've always said, I think it's an awesome Montana for towing and going. It hits that 35-foot mark, but still gives you all the big things of a Montana. But if what you're looking for is like that seasonal snowbird kind of thing, where you're going to spend most of your time parked at a destination versus traveling, I think this is the one that you're going to like right here. The extra space, the storage, the breathing room, the look, the feel, it's just phenomenal. Now up top here, we're going to start from the top and work our way down. We have dual 15,000 dual whisper ducted air system. So this has a 30,000 BTU whisper air in living room and bedroom. And you don't see the squares, so you won't hear the airs, plural. Up top, we've got that max air vent fan. We've got another one of those in the bathroom area, both complete with a wall control switch. And I love that they brought that, I call it the air traffic controller lighting, back along the ceiling in that crown molding. And it makes for awesome what I call stealth mode camping. All of the indirect lighting above that ceiling fixture, both here in the living room as well as over there in the slide out, if you take note. Whether it's evening and you're just wanting to watch a movie without being blinded by the light, you know, revved up like a deuce, another runner in the night, you can just kind of tone it down a little bit. Or if you're trying to sneak to the fridge to grab some leftovers, you see how even the countertop has some little under counter accents for navigating through the evening hours right there. Now, once we get back here, at a glance, it looks like a lot of opposing slide rear living rooms, but what you start to see is that everything is stretched out. Everything's a little bit bigger, and I'm going to kind of point that out as we go. So the TV right here obviously directly faces that heat massage theater seat with that flip up down power console, by the way. And that is a power theater recline, mind you. So you can kind of hit that 45-degree sweet spot on your legs to take the pressure off and to take that, you know, to really just let that blood flow get back to your legs. It feels so good. But that TV's on a double pivot. If you want to be in the kicking, I can't even talk, it's so cold, kitchen, cooking, kicking it in the kitchen, there we go. Well, you can crank that TV around. You want to watch from the dining, you want to watch from the theater seat and the sofa and have a little conversation corner, you can do that. But speaking of the sofa, this is a big trifold guest sleeper space right here, so that if you have some guests, even adult size, they can spend a weekend with you. Because this opens right up into a big sleeper. My wife and I spent a weekend hanging out in Mr. Haylett's Montana on this hide-a-bed. We had plenty of room, and I'm a big dude. She's not as big as me, but 2 adults slept on this. Meanwhile, my daughter slept on one of the reclining theater seats. We got along just fine. Now look at those side stands. I'm not a CPAP user, but if I was, I'd have been able to spend the weekend hanging out here in a hide-a-bed and not die because I couldn't breathe. And I've found that not dying is a great way to enjoy living. Funny how that works. Dual section day and night shades throughout the Montana series here, so that you have as much or as little light, whatever. I've got that center console on that sofa folded away so that you can kind of see it more of like a big old love seat mode. And I kind of call this the fluffy friendly cinema seat right here, because if you're a little bigger around the hips, you know, I know that I'm a little thicker around the midsection than I need to be. I seem to kind of fluff up and down in weight here. Well, you know, this would handle me just fine. All the windows in the world over here on the campsite of the RV, and whether it's the sofa side windows or the recliner side windows, they all open for airflow, so you get great breezes through the entire RV. Now what's nice here is the table. It's kind of what I call a little bit of a diesel pushery dinette, real scientific RV nerdism right there, obviously. And those are the cushions for that trifold sitting over there in the stairs. I just haven't tucked those away yet. Normally I'll put them up on sort of like the headboard area of the bed, depending on how tall the sleeper is. But this thing right here, good couples dining situation, but it comes just chock full of Legend of Zelda style secrets. Because when we start to take a look, you see that first of all the table telescopes out, and then it has a sort of like dining desk flip top on it with that handy gas strap for easy lift. That extension leaf obviously extends and lays flat and creates room for 4 adults, and wouldn't you know it, they have 2 fold-away guest chairs that can hide under the bed or maybe in the front closet or in the pass-through belly compartment, or leave them at home if you really don't want guests. But the fact is this can entertain guests. By the way, that ain't carpet. Montanas are completely carpetless with the exception of the carpet square that I used to scrub my feet off when I got into the RV. That is, like if you've ever been on a pontoon, it's kind of from the marine industry. It's like a woven material that, you know, if you spill stuff on it, no big deal. You can just wipe it right up. So these are a completely carpetless upper and lower deck, because if I peek up here, you can see no carpet in that upper deck. We will look at all that huge storage cabinetry in a second, but remember how I keep saying this is like a 3120 on steroids? One of the other areas that you can see that here is this island. Everything is stretched out. Like, you've got 2 wastebasket areas. We have extra drawers, but we still have that big stainless farm sink plus standard stainless sort of like veggie prep sink under that high-rise faucet right there. And plenty of room for big pots, pans, cans, macaroni and cheese, all that stuff. Now, by the way, you know, this model number ends in a 0. If it ended with a 1, it would have a residential fridge. Montana, they kind of tell you which version of a floor plan you're looking at, which refrigerator it has based on the model number. So this video could apply to either. We're going to talk all about this storage, but all of a sudden it just occurred something to me here. Looking at this 5120 BTU electric space heating fireplace, something I forgot to mention when I was talking about that dual ducted whisper air system, the main AC unit, the one back here, also has a 16,500 BTU heat pump built into it. So this thing has great electric heating before you even need to worry about flipping on and burning up your propane. Now, again, the idea of this being a 3120 on steroids comes into play. Because instead of, like, it still has the symmetry kitchen that I really like in that 3120. You got that convection microwave above, but you have extra large cabinets on both the left and the right side. So, and they throw a shelf in there to really maximize your storage. And somebody at Montana drinks wine because they know how to put a little wine rack up there to keep the cork wet. A lot of people don't seem to know that in the RV business. Great prep space down here. And that's a full wall backsplash, by the way. That residential style sealed burner RV stove right there, so much easier to clean, with pop-up power towers just like we saw in the dining area on either side of it. Now down below, we've got larger drawers, larger cabinets, even a full drawer below the larger 22-inch oven. I mean, this is, again, if you're looking to do some destination full timing, I just don't know if I can think of a better model than something like this. You get the big fridge, the big storage, the big living space. Everything is big. And we haven't even looked at this whole amazing chunk of space. And if the camera gets a little cloudy every now and then, it's cold. My breath is just pumping out of here like a steam cloud. So right by the entry door, one of the things they did is, first of all, motion lighting, which is nice, but it's either a huge closet, Another place to store those guest chairs or our stackable washer dryer prep space. And just to give you a reference point, I stuffed that whole giant carpet square I was using to keep my feet clean in here so that I'm not tracking dirt around. The good news, even if I didn't, you wouldn't see my footprints in this RV when you take it home, because we clean every single new RV sold here from Haylett RV at no additional charge. We do not do hidden dealer fees. Keeping it clean, propane, batteries. This would definitely have 2 batteries by the time it goes home. That's just the stuff we do for you here. Now, right, I mean, even over here, you've got yet another like dedicated pantry space with a hidden converter box. That is our central vacuum system right there, by the way, with what I like to call the electric dustpan. That's the rectangle at the bottom. You can just sweep everything up, because remember, it's carpetless. Sweep it toward that little thing, kick it up with your toe, and then go, and there you go. Now, our controls and everything are all hidden away here, but they're easily accessible. If this would have been a model with the Legacy Edition instead of a conventional switch panel, what you'd actually have right here is that touch panel that for the in-command system, but that's where that'd be located. Plus, this is where the wiring is run for a solar power controller if you choose to add solar panels to this solar prepped RV. Migrating here to the upper deck, this has a 43% bigger bathroom than the 3120 Montana. This big double sink, or double lavatory if we're going to be fancy dancy. If you're fancy like that, then you call applesauce apple chutney, which is basically just chopped up fruit. That's all a chutney is, in case you were curious. Kind of like an aioli. It's just fancy talk for mayo. It's got garlic aioli. It's garlic mayo, lady. Anyway, you get the idea. Another one of those big vent fans up here. And I love the symmetry of this bathroom. You've got, like, you know, kind of the his and hers, or his and his, and hers and hers, or however you camp. I don't care. You know, you and your partner each have your own place for things with your centralized kind of shared medicine cabinet, if you will. And, you know, separate outlets. That's a sealed edge style countertop up here with those stainless sinks with great cabinet space below and drawer space. But as we wrap around past that porcelain stool, you see an easy step-in fiberglass one-piece shower with kind of convenience seating space right there. And plenty of headroom in this thing. Not to mention the fact that if you live in a household like mine, where you have very different height people, you see that you've got adjustable height shower head hardware right there. But what's also kind of cool is this bathroom has great storage. One of the benefits of this being a little bit bigger is they just had more room to really pack it in here. So you can see, as deep as that shower is, that's how deep those cabinets are. And it is a legit floor to ceiling linen and toiletry storage space. What's also cool is, as we get down to the bottom here, the bathroom door itself has a magnet holdback at the bottom to keep that door held open if you want. Now, if I swing us around here, you'll see, like I said, more storage here. Great drawer space in this bathroom, as well as like individual trash can space below both of those stainless sinks. And as I said, whether it's your medications, your shavers, your toothbrush, blow dryers, etc., you just have plenty of individual space here. That's why I think this is such a good model for a full-timer. Of course, it makes sense. Montana's the #1 selling full-time RV out there for like 18 consecutive years now. Right next door, as we move into the bedroom, one of the things I want to point out here, this has opposing upper deck slides, which gives this bedroom just a massive open feel. It adds some hitch weight, but I don't think you're looking at this model right here because you thought it was an ultralight. I think you know that it's a big girl and you're going to need the right truck. You know, we're probably in dually country here. But once again, we have that quiet ducted air here in the bedroom. I'm 6'3", I could walk all over, never worry about bumping my head on anything. We are once again completely carpetless and easy cleaning. There is like a dedicated laundry hamper inside that front closet, but remember, your washer dryer prep is actually downstairs, not upstairs. Real quick, before we examine the closets and the dressers in more detail though, I want to get you a good look straight onto this bed here. I love that extra window right above the bed. Lets in a flood of light, and you have your own built-in CPAP stands with outlets built right into the slide box right there. That is a rare find in the RV industry. And there are some fifth wheels that offer things like that, but usually at drastically higher price points than what you're going to find in this Montana. I wanted you to get to also see there is full storage below that bed. That's not something every fifth wheel offers. And once again, another place that you could store those fold-away guest chairs. So you got a laundry hamper up front. You've got that, you know, shelf shoe garage. I would say you could use it like a dresser, but you are not going to need to use it like a dresser, considering you have your own built-in dresser slide out here directly across from this bed, which, you know, you've got that handy little kind of like morning countertop, desktop right there, you know, dresser top. And, you know, you don't option things like bedroom TVs into Montanas. The stuff that's optional in other brands, they just have here. Another thing I thought about, like, you see how there's extra household outlets over here. This is just a cool place to be able to, like, you could almost make your own sort of home office up here. There's no limit to what you can come up with this thing other than just the limit of your own imagination. When you have more space, you can do more things, and they gave you a lot of options up here. As we step outside, I want to point out a few things. First of all, that's a 6.5 foot tall door. And you notice it's the same height as that slide out. Those are easy walk-in slides. A 30-inch wide door for easy come and go, plus that larger folding handle anti-slam door and the 0G self-supporting stable step system. Very nice for making sure that door isn't going to accidentally fall on you, crush your head, crush your dog, grandkids, whatever. Now this right here is kind of just a little why not space. They had, because the upper deck is so long with that big bedroom and extra large bathroom, they had space here to just kind of put an extra mini compartment. So what they did is they said, we're going to pre-prep this for an outside TV, but this is also where you would find your central vacuum dump right there. Right next to it is that big, beautiful drop frame storage compartment that you know and love on all the Montanas. And with the fully enclosed privatized docking center that we're going to see on the other side. As a back up here, we get a good look at our first of 6 hydraulic automatic leveling legs. This is a big rig. It will get itself set up and be rock steady, lickety-split, push of a button. Now, the couple things here. There are some optional pieces of equipment present, like that king bed. I didn't mention that inside. The king bed's actually optional. Additionally, the slide awnings are optional. And pardon me as I'm kind of stepping through snowbanks and backing up, making sure I'm not running into anything, which is why my camera work is a little less than stellar, which is normal, I suppose. Dual power awnings. You've got a second awning right on the face of that slide to maximize your patio space, both of which have, you know, lighting and tilt and all that good stuff. We have a shock dampening pin box system up front, and that goes right along with the Road Armor suspension system. One of the things I like about Road Armor, and Mr. Haylett himself, by the way, tends to camp in a Montana. So the guy that owns every single one of these things in the background, at least temporarily, you know, he has his pick of the litter. And typically, it's a Montana that he chooses to jet set around in. And the one thing he's constantly talking about is how nicely it tows. And I think the pin box and suspension combo they have in here is a big part of that. So the enclosed docking center here is kind of the first point where we can start to discuss how Montana is and has been hot, cold camp rated since 2005 and counting. There's a lot of misinformation about our values and insulation packages and stuff out there. Montana doesn't need to misinform you. They've been proven successful since 05 and counting for that purpose. Also inside there, you can see your key TV hookup, so you don't have that signal antenna booster anymore. Our battery disconnect switch, outside shower, all kinds of little goodies in here. And if we take a look below, you can see a handy little sewer hose caddy, so you can keep your black tank stuff away from your freshwater stuff. Now, one more thing, this has not just an enclosed heated belly. There's radiant barriers, there's insulation. It does all those things, but it also has 12-volt tank heating pads directly on those tanks, which, since they're 12-volt, you can also use in motion, which is nice. On the back side here, something I want to point out, take a look at those taillights. They've got a white section in them. This has reverse travel lighting. Also, this has a 2-inch receiver hitch on the back with a 300-pound rating. So, you know, if you've got like a light cargo tray or a bike rack or something like that you want to put on the back here, you can do so without voiding your full-time RV warranty, which is just another one of those nice Montana doing Montana things. They've been doing that for a couple seasons now, and it's good to see that they've continued. And then once again, we have all kinds of windows over here on the camp side of the RV, so you can look at your RV, or pardon me, your campsite, instead of staring at the neighbors, who never seem to be wearing a shirt on a hot day, and they never seem to be in ace physical peak condition. You ever notice that? So This is Haylett Auto and RV right here. Normally I'd like to get you up on the roof and take a look at that solar prep, but the weather's kind of preventing that. So I just want to give you a quick glance and give you the idea that it doesn't matter what you're looking for. Chances are, if it's on wheels, we have it, and we do everything except for hidden dealer fees. Pieces, parts, hitching, finance, truck and trailer package deals, and all the fixins. We just don't do the fees. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy Montana camping, everyone.